Hey best friend, I'm gonna show y'all how I made this strawberry lemonade. There's timestamps in the description for each design I did in case you want to skip around. I'm gonna start with the Aqua Nail that I made. I'm using 3D sculpting gel to make the tank, and when I flatten it down, I put top coat on top of it and then I cure it. I cured them both at the same time. Before I peeled off the press on, after I cured the bottom of the tank, I painted top coat along the sides of the tank just to make sure that if there's any holes in it, I just quickly patch it up with top coat. And I used a gooseneck light to cure it because I can hold down the press on in place while it's curing, and then I put it in the lamp for a full minute. I attempted to make the tank with polygel, and polygel will leave a sticky residue on the inside of the tank, and when I did that, the things I put inside of it wasn't really moving. So I thought to myself, it has to be the sticky residue. So I used top coat because top coat is a non-stick product, and then I used top coat to close the last hole. That I don't recommend doing that because it started leaking. So top coat alone is not strong enough. I just used top coat and I would flash cure it really fast. You can't do that. It's just not gonna work. I kind of gave up on that nail, to be honest. And then I got my Nailzbydev rhinestone glue. It came in the mail when I was editing the video, and it's non-stick. So I filed that top coat off. The last hole that I made, I filed that, and then I cleaned it out because there was dust, and then I filled it back up, and then I closed it with the Nailzbydev rhinestone glue, and that worked. It's not sticking to anything, and there's like movement. I'm gonna link everything I use. Everything that I can find a link for, it's gonna be linked. So now I'm doing the Plaid Design, and I'm using a jelly pink polish. You definitely have to cure the vertical lines before the horizontal ones, or vice versa. And you have to do that to get the light colored squares and then the darker colored squares. It will only work if you do it like that. And I started the horizontal lines at the bottom. I originally started in the middle and my line was a little bit diagonal. And I started at the bottom because I can easily see if it's parallel to the bottom of the nail. While I was getting to the top of the nail, I realized that I put too much paint on some of the bottom lines, and that's kind of taking away from the design. The more jelly polish you put on it, the less jelly it will look, you know? So there wasn't much of a distinction between the light and the dark squares. So I wiped off my brush, and then I picked up some of the gel from those lines by putting my brush into the lines. And then I wiped that off, and I kept doing that for each of the lines that had too much gel. I did this design for the thumbs and ring nails, and I switched it up. So one thumb is pink and one is yellow, and same with the ring fingers, like one is pink and one is yellow. For the smile line, it's not a jelly color that I'm using. It's a regular pigmented color. I'm using a gooseneck light to make sure it's fully cured because I'm not sure if a regular nail lamp will reach all of the underside of the nail, you know what I mean? So I just make sure it's fully cured with the gooseneck thing, and then I stick it in the lamp for a full minute because I really don't want it to pop off. When I'm putting top coat on top, I'm wiggling my brush in all the crack to really seal it in. I started off painting the strawberry nail a jelly color, and then I realized that strawberries aren't transparent, so I put this pink on top and put the jelly pink I used earlier on top of that so they can match the other nails I made. I also ended up putting that jelly pink color on the back of the Aqua Nail after I patched it back up with my new rhinestone glue. I'm using a yellow to paint the seeds. I I just did diagonal lines and made like a diamond shape around each of the seeds. This is the lemon nail. I'm painting it that same jelly yellow I used from before. When I'm making these lines, they're all starting from the same point. And I made sure they were evenly spread out by looking at that point. So, you know how it's kind of making triangles and angles? I was just making sure they all had the same angle. I started rounding out the corners of those triangles. Mixed builder gel with that same glitter polish and jelly yellow polish from before, and I realized the more polish that is added to the builder gel, the less viscous the mixture will be, so be careful not to add too much. I'm doing lemon meringue first, and I'm using a brown to sketch the details, but I'm not doing the tiny ones. I'm not doing her hair either. I'm just doing like the basic shape, like her face and body. Doing her hand was the hardest part for me, so I just started with her arm and cured that, and then I did her hand later. was scared to do her eyes, so I saved that part for last. And I do this for a lot of nail sets because it's like giving my hand a warm up, you know? Like getting it warmed up for the hardest part. I'm using a 10mm brush for everything done to both characters, and that's about the same length of my pinky nail from cuticle to free edge, just like that length. I always add a matte top coat before doing line work because there's no glare when you do that, and it kind of fills in the spaces between each of the colors. It levels out the nail a little bit, so it's like easier to make lines. I want to show y'all how I load up my brush for line work. I wiggle the brush in the paint and make sure it's fully saturated, and then I wipe most of it off, and that's how I got those lines. For this part right here, I'm leaving a space where the stars are going to be. Now I'm sketching out strawberry shortcake the same way I did for the other character. wanted to mention that I'm using sticky tabs to attach the press-ons to the stem, in case you're wondering. And I used to use clay to do that, but it's just a mess. It leaves residue on the back of it, and then you have to wipe it. It's just messy. So sticky tabs are way better. I got mine from Temu, and they work really well. Like, the press-on won't come off unless you pull it off intentionally. I'll link that in the description. I made this red for her jacket by mixing brown into the other red color I used. I realized that her hat wasn't big enough when I started doing her hair, so I added more to the hat. I mixed black with the base coat and used that for the shadows because I got lazy. I didn't do that for the other character. I used jelly colors and it didn't show up very well. So if you plan on painting them and you want the shadows to show up, you should use regular gel polish instead of jelly colors. Or you can make your jelly colors a lot more darker than the way I did it. The last thing I did was fill in the background with a pink glitter. the same glitter I used everywhere else. I did 4 coats here, and for the Frenchies I did, that also has 4 coats. And this is how they turned out. Let me know what you think. If you want to see how I painted Bluey and Bingo, watch this video.